protectors of the Sunnah followers, protectors of the Sunnah. Inna alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. We're continuing with the topic of Islamic morals. Islamic morals. And before class, I gave you guys, before the quiz rather, I gave you guys a definition of morals. Because again, one of the problems that I have found is that even though English is your language, a lot of Muslims here do not understand the meaning of simple English words. When we talk about Islamic morals, what are we talking about? Well, morals refers to the principles of right and wrong behavior. So when we're talking about Islamic morals, we're talking about the Islamic principles of right and wrong behavior, or Islamic principles of good and bad behavior. That's what morality means in English. I mean, the good morals mean in English. And when we talk about Islamic morality, what is the meaning of morality? Morality are the principles concerning the difference between right and wrong, good and bad. So when I speak about Islamic morality, I am speaking about the Islamic principles that distinguish between good and bad behavior. So that's what this whole series is about. Islamic principles in regards to good behavior. And one of the things that I want to emphasize with you guys is, if a person is weak in their character, or weak in their personality, or weak in their morality, then this is a person who is suffering from weakness of faith. We have to understand, guys, belief in Allah is determined by your good behavior. This is what Allah means when He says in the Quran, in the interpretation, the meaning, "O you who have faith, fear Allah and be with the truthful people." Here Allah is telling us to adopt righteousness in our behavior and to always speak the truth, to be with people who are true and righteous in not only their speech, but their behavior too. So if you do not have good morals, if you do not have good standards of behavior, then guess what? You are not a true believing Muslim. You are not strong in your belief in Allah, and you definitely are not an emissary of this way of life. And our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, explained to us that when faith is strong, then your character and your morals will develop to be strong too. If you truly believe in Allah, then you will work hard at obeying Him and trying to be the type of person that He likes. Allah does not like a person who fornicates, so you will work hard to stay away from that. And thus you will adapt good morals, good behavior. For example, modesty. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that modesty and belief in Allah are twins. Whoever gives up one of them loses the other. Look at these Muslims, people who used to practice Islam. Look on Facebook. Many of those sisters who used to come to my classes years ago, 10 years ago, and they stopped coming, they gave up their faith. And as a result, look at them on Facebook. Their modesty is gone too. They're posting up pictures on Facebook with them with no clothes on. They have no shame with them smoking, drinking, partying. No shame. But look at the other sisters who remain firm in their faith, firm in their belief. The pictures they post up are just like this, in hijab, modestly covered, and good behavior. So again, guys, modesty and faith are twins. So this helps to illustrate that when your belief in Allah is strong, then your morals will be strong too. But whenever your belief in Allah weakens, your morals weaken too. And you fall into sin. This is why when people stop practicing religion as they should, you stop praying, you stop wearing hijab. It's no mystery as to why you now begin to smoke cigarettes, why you now begin to give into sins. Okay? And this is also what the Prophet meant when he told us in another hadith, a person can never be a believer. He can never be a believer. He can never be a believer until his neighbors feel safe around him. Subhanallah. If the people that live around you live in fear of you because they're afraid that you might break in their house or you might harm them, then that's a sign that you have no faith. You're not a true person who believes in Allah. Again, a person of true belief is a person of good morals. This is a person that would never think to harm anyone. He would never break in another person's house. He would never steal from someone. So the people around him would trust him. And that's what Allah meant in that verse where he said, "O you who have faith, fear Allah and be with the truthful people." The truthful people would never be people who others live in fear of. So again, guys, if your faith is weak, then that means your morality is weak. If your faith is strong, then so is your morality. Let me give you some other examples as to how a lack of morals is also a lack of weak faith. We have a hadith whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam advised his companions to stay away from the talk that is trash, and to stay away from actions that are bad, and to stay away from deeds that are senseless. In fact, he said, a person who believes in Allah and the hereafter should speak about good things or else keep quiet. Subhanallah. If the people come around you and all you have to talk about are bad things, then that's a sign that you have no good morals. Who wants to come around a person that's backbiting others, that's always saying bad things about other people? No one wants to hear that negativity. But if you're a person who's always positive, who always have words of encouragement and good to say, then the people will gravitate towards you. So again, that's another example. A person that can't control what comes out of his mouth, that says horrible things, that's negative in his speech, this is a person that has no belief in Allah. This is a person that's lacking as a result in his behavior. Again, speak the truth or remain silent. And also, if you're a Muslim suffering with low morality, if you're a Muslim suffering with weakness of faith, it will also show in how you perform your obligations to Allah. Remember, we spoke yesterday about how the foundations of Islam, those pillars of faith, can lead. Well, if you're weak in your faith, it'll show in your prayers. Instead of standing in rows and ranks, you'll break the row and rank. Instead of performing the positions of the prayer perfectly, you'll rush through them. You'll even rush through your salat. So again, you can tell if a person's faith is strong. You can tell if their morality is high by how they perform their prayers and how they perform their other obligations to Allah as well. And also their obligations to their family. A man may start to slack up on paying the bills, slack up on taking care of his wives and children. That's a sign that his faith has felt faltered. Okay? So again, weak faith means bad morality. Bad morality means weak faith. Does everybody understand that? We have a hadith that's narrated by Imam Ahmed. He said a person once asked the Prophet, "O Prophet of Allah, there's a woman who lives in town who is very well known for her prayers. She's always seen praying. She's always fasting. And she even gives in charity. But when we go around her, she's also well known for how rudely she talks with her neighbors. She's always backbiting other people. She's always gossiping. But even though she gossips and does that, her prayers, her fasting, and her charity is a lot. So what's going to happen to a person like that? The prophet said she will end up in the hellfire. And the prophet said the reason why, because even though she does her prayers, even though she fasts, even though she gives in charity, she loses all those rewards due to what comes out of her mouth, the evil deeds that she do. They counteract and knock out, nullify her good deeds. SubhanAllah. That's something that we need to think about in life. All the good deeds you're doing being nullified because you're going around harming others. Again, if you were a true believer, you wouldn't be talking about other people. You wouldn't be gossiping. You'd be living your life in fear of Allah's punishment, obeying him, doing what he says. And then that person asked, "O Prophet of Allah, we have another woman in town. She doesn't have much money, so she doesn't do that much in charity. And also she doesn't pray as much and she doesn't fast that much. But everybody likes her because she can be trusted. Her neighbors live in harmony with her. What happened to a woman like that?" The Prophet said, "Then she will be a woman of paradise." Because again, even though she doesn't have the money that the other woman has, even though she doesn't do as much as the other woman did in good deeds, the fact that the people trust her, the fact that she's truthful and trustworthy, this makes up for all of that, and she'll be a woman of paradise. SubhanAllah. So again, we need to think about these hadiths. A lot of us do good deeds and we lose out on them because of our bad morals, our bad behavior. Do not allow your morality, do not allow your behavior to stand in the way between you and Allah. Okay, so something for us to ponder. Also, guys, in another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "In my nation, the poor person is the one who will stand before Allah on the day of judgment. And he or she is a person that used to pray. He or she is a person that used to give in charity. He or she is a person that used to fast. But they went around harming other people with their hands or with their tongue. They lied on others, or they took others' property, or they may have even murdered someone, or they may have hit someone." Well, all this person's virtues will be given to his or her victims on the day of judgment. And if his virtues are finished before his wicked deeds are, then the errors and sins of the victims will be given to him, and he will be thrown into the hellfire. Oh my God. Can you imagine that? I'm a person that spent my life giving in charity, giving dawah, trying to call the people to the truth. But on the other hand, I was a horrible person. I didn't have good morals. I went around hurting people, talking about people, backbiting people, abusing people with my tongue, with my hands. Well, when I stand before Allah on the day of judgment, my good deeds will be given to all the people that I harmed. But if I don't have enough good deeds to pay them back, then guess what? Allah is going to take their sins and dump them on me, and I'll end up in hell. What a horrible, horrible outcome, all because your morality was bad. So again, guys, if a person is a true believing Muslim, it will show in his behavior, it will show in his character, it will show in his personality, and it will show in his morality. But if that person has bad morals, bad behavior, bad character, I'm sorry, it shows as well. And again, that's what defines a hypocrite. That's what defines a hypocrite in Islam. A person that says that they believe in Allah, but when you look at their behavior, you can see that in reality they don't. You say you're a Muslim. You even look the part. You dress like a Muslim man. You dress like a Muslim woman. But every time you open your mouth, you're hurting people. You're gossiping, you're backbiting, you're saying bad things that's not true, you're lying on others, or you're stealing from others, you're taking other people's property. People are afraid to come around you because they're afraid you're going to hurt them. You are a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. So that's something that we need to think about. Okay? So thus, guys, we can see from these hadiths that I discussed today that in order to be a true believing Muslim, it goes deeper than just saying that you're one. It goes even deeper than praying and wearing hijab and all that. If you truly are a believing Muslim, it will show through your attitude, through your behavior, how you treat others, how others view you. If the people live in fear of you, then I'm sorry, you're not a true believing Muslim. But if the people gravitate towards you, they respect you, they love you, then that's a good sign too. And remember, guys, our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was not sent to wage war against the world. He was not sent to force people into Islam. No, he was sent to teach the world good morals, good behavior. And by teaching the people good morals and good behavior, that's what attracted them to our way of life. That's what made them submit to Allah in their totality. So we'll stop right here for today. And what I'm going to do is give you guys a small homework assignment. I'm going to give you guys a small homework assignment. I want you guys to take a good hard look at yourself. Look at how you perform your prayers. And be honest. Do I rush through my prayers? Or do I take my time and perform them properly? Do I pray my prayers within the time frame that Allah has given us, or do I double up? If your prayers are not performed correctly, then that means that your morals are not good. So I want you guys to take a good hard look at yourself and be honest with yourself and ask yourself, do my prayers reflect good morality? That's your homework assignment. Do my performance of the prayers reflect good reality? We'll talk about that tomorrow. Sunnah protectors of the Sunnah. Sunnah